Hello everyone, it's Leo, and this is the second video of the Star Guardian series. If you haven't watched the first one, the link will be on the description box and in the comment box as well. I just want to say that we're very close to the release of the third team, or actually the third season of the Star Guardians, and I'm very excited about them. But let's talk about the second one, the season that was released in 2017 with Ari's team. Ari is the leader of this team, and it's a team of 5 members as well, and it's represented by a 4-pointed star, different from the first team that is represented by a 5-pointed star. This team was released with a beautiful trailer called A New Horizon, in which we have Ari questioning her role as a Star Guardian, and it has a very iconic line in which she says, "Star Guardians are destined to protect the universe, but who will protect us?" And then she reveals some symbols of past Star Guardians that once fought alongside her but were defeated. But then she starts questioning her destiny and her own will of actually becoming and being a Star Guardian, and she decides to actually confront the destiny and make her own future. And by that, she is joined by other 4 Star Guardians who are Miss Fortune, Ezreal, Soraka, and Syndra. So those 5 are Ari's team, and I think that this was probably the best season of the Star Guardians because it had like a very big in-game event in which we had even a special game mode called Invasion, which is probably the best League of Legends mode so far. I had so much fun in that, and it was very nice because we could play with any Guardian we wanted. It was so hard. We had to think of strategies and everything. It was a lot of fun. They should really bring Invasion back one day. But anyways, we're here to talk about the Star Guardians themselves. So with the release of those 5 new Guardians, we now have 10 Star Guardians in the universe. And we also had a short story released. And this short story showed a lot of the characters and the big difference between Lux's team and Ari's team. So we have 2 very different teams, 2 very different leaders with very different approaches, and it was a very interesting read. But before talking about the short story, let's talk about the characters and their profiles. Ari is a very charismatic leader, and she leads a team of new and past Star Guardians. So she has this big role because she lost past Guardians on her own leadership, and so she feels very tough and protective of the ones she fights alongside with. So she doesn't really have much patience, she doesn't really have much care, she just wants to protect them. She has a very tough love inside of her. Ari has a familiar that accompanies her called Kiko, and it's an embodiment of her charisma and sass. Kiko is someone who's not afraid to say what's on its mind, even though the only person that understands it is Ari herself. Apart from that, Kiko always opens up with belly rub. Ari loves dancing and ice cream sundae, and cherries must be in her sundae. She loves yearbooks, and she has a very strong proficiency in charms. In the short story called Starfall, we can see Ari is that very popular type of person who controls her pose and who, I won't call her a bully, but she is not very well accepting of people who seem to be clumsy or shy. She just wants to be in her own group. She's kind of like a nicer, not really nicer because she's not nice, but a non-cruel version of Regina George. Miss Fortune is the second member. She's like a co-leader. She's actually the second in command in Ari's team, and she fought alongside Ari in Ari's first team as well. So Miss Fortune also went through loss of team members, and because of that she has a very strong will in fighting, but not in a sense of duty, in completing her mission as a Star Guardian. No, she does it all for her thirst for vengeance. She is a renowned gunslinger around the universe, and she's known as a monster slayer. Apart from that, she always jumps straight into battle without thinking things through, but she's so strong and she has such a strong ability in fighting that is not a real problem for her. She cares about her teammates, even though sometimes she butts heads because she always wants to fight and she thinks that if the team is doing other things, they're losing time. The only member of the team she doesn't really trust is Syndra because she thinks she has a different motive than the rest of the team. Boki and Baki are Miss Fortune's familiars. They both have a very playful personality, very different from Miss Fortune herself. And it's interesting to notice that both of them were born from her thirst of vengeance. So it's interesting to think about that because she probably didn't have them and her pistols while she fought alongside Ari in their first team, in which they lost 3 members. At the same time, they are like a counterpart to Miss Fortune's personality, strong personality, and they always celebrate their victories with a butt bump. Miss Fortune loves poker and shrimp tempura. She loves planning and she has a proficiency in firearms. Ezreal is one of the new members of this second team, and by being a newcomer, he has a lot of energy. And that kind of irritates some of the members of his team while getting him sympathy with other members as well. Ezreal doesn't have that burden on being a Star Guardian. He actually feels like it's a thrilling thing, it's just an adventure. And during the team's travels, he is known for wandering off, but he always comes back in time. He always comes back when he's most needed. And lately, a special pink-haired member of the other team has been calling Ezreal's attention. Yuto is Ezreal's familiar, and it also has this free spirit, so he loves roaming the skies, acting as a scout for the team, but sometimes he spends his time inside Ezreal's gauntlet. Apart from that, he can fuse with Ezreal, giving him wings. Ezreal loves traveling, pizza, and archaeology, and he is very good at arcane magic. And now for Soraka, the green, mint-haired member of this team. She is someone who's very close to the Starlight, the source of the Star Guardian's powers, but she doesn't really understand her connection. She has a very strong healing magic, and her shy personality, but her willingness of putting others into before her has earned her team's trust and respect. So the Ari's team respects Soraka a lot. Soraka is kind of similar to Lulu from the first team. Both of them are green themed, and both of them have this very strong connection to the Starlight. But Soraka and Lulu have very distinctive personalities. Lulu's a crazy girl and she's always inside of her own world. Soraka's very shy and she's always willing to help other people no matter what. Shisa is Soraka's familiar and he's very overprotective of her. He really tries to protect her from the outworld danger and to protect her from her own naivety. At the same time, he tries to be very protective. He gets very angry over Soraka's nurturing personality towards others while putting herself in danger. And even though he becomes very grumpy, Soraka knows of a good way of turning him back to his old good self. Just a little bit of red bean ice cream. Soraka loves stargazing and cinnamon rolls, and restorative magic are her specialities. Soraka has a different thing going on for her because she has a 4-shaped star on top of another 4-shaped star. So her symbol is a little different from the rest of her team. What does it mean? We don't really know. And now for the last member of this team, Syndra is a feared and admired Star Guardian from another era. Just like Janna, her story is shrouded in mystery and no one really knows her true intentions. She works as a mentor for Ari and her leadership, just like Janna does to Lux. But Syndra has this cunning personality and she doesn't hold back into getting what she wants, and that makes other team members suspect of her, most specifically Miss Fortune. Despite some team members not really believing in her, Ari trusts Syndra, and so Syndra has earned her spot in Ari's team, and Syndra won't hold back to get whatever she wants. Muchi are Syndra's familiars, and they are like very cute balls of dark energy that Syndra is the only one that's able to juggle. They represent lots of different emotions, and Syndra is the only one that can actually understand them and use their powers to her favors. Syndra loves playing chess, she loves chocolate ganache cake, she loves theater. I mean, her tastes are the best. And she's proficient in dark magic. So those five comprehend Ari's team, the second team in the Star Guardian universe, and they're part of the Starfall short story that happened in a time in which both teams encountered. So, like, I'm going to be like very concise in this story. You can read it. It's a very nice read. It's short, but it's very fun. You can read it in the League of Legends website. It's obviously going to be down there in the description box as well. So it kind of goes like this. Lux is trying to get her team to, to understand itself better, like for the girls to connect more. So she suggests them to go on a special summer camp in which there's going to be a meteor shower and everyone is going to watch that. So after a very tiresome day, she can get her team together so they can go to this camp. And when they get there, each one goes to their own ways. Lux is left with Jana, who is not really there. She's physically there, but emotionally she's in a totally different place. And Lux goes and registered her team, and when she does that, there's a very rude person that attends her. That person is called Syndra. Syndra is the one who registers her team, and then Ari appears, and then they have a little bickering because, Lux is feeling unconfident. She's very clumsy. She's like the perfect magical girl protagonist. While Ari, on the other hand, is that perfect type and who is like the perfect stereotype of that popular girl at school with her posse around her, and that's what she does. Everybody admires Ari, and so Lux feels kind of bad because she doesn't know Ari has her own Star Guardian team, but Lux is just notices how Ari can, like, how people in Ari's team gravitates towards her and how she has a control over that group. And Lux does not have control of her group at all. And so they go on to camp, and when they get there, Lulu asks Jana for a story. And it's a very interesting part because, Jinx tries to sting Jana a lot, and Jana always goes back to Jinx. I love those back and forths between both of them, and it's interesting how Jinx teases Jana because she's older and how she's been a Star Guardian for so long. It's very funny. It's amazing. But the important thing about that is just how Jana tells the story about the original Star Guardian. And she says that the original Star Guardian received the power from the first star, but she was feeling very lonely, so the first star gave her other 4 companions. But then, as battles go by, those companions were lost, and the original Star Guardian ended up losing herself. Jana doesn't really know if that story is true or not, and it doesn't really matter for them at that point. But what matters is that they all go to sleep, and then when they wake up, Lulu is not there. And Lulu's been acting very strange in this camp because she's saying, oh, other stars are going to appear, and the girls are like, come on, Lulu. And Lulu at the end was right, because when Lulu went on by herself and the girls found her, waiting for the meteor shower to happen, lots of monsters started attacking, and the girls all had to go through a very hard fight. But not only that, when the girls were fighting, the other 5 guardians appeared and they fought together at the same time, the 10 Star Guardians. And unfortunately, there's not an animation for that, but you know, the way the scene is descripted, it's mind-blowing. I love that scene so much. Lux, as she wasn't really feeling herself in that trip, let that get over her head, and she couldn't really use her powers to the full extent. I mean, she could, she was able to fight, but she wasn't really able to concentrate in the fight, and she ended up being hit by one of the monsters, and she hit her head and she passed out. Obviously, the 9 Star Guardians were able to defeat the monsters, but when things returned, Ari met Lux, and then they had a little talk, and Lux wanted them to get together, like the 2 teams getting together. 10 is better than 5, and so the 10 of them could fight in a stronger manner. So Lux wanted Ari to lead the team. She wanted Ari to be the leader of the 10 Star Guardians, but Ari obviously refused. And Lux said, like, as a team, we're very strong. As 10 people, there's nothing we can't beat. And Ari responded, and Ari's response is the best for me. Ari says something among those lines, with more people, there's more to lose. So I think that this story is very interesting because it really showcases lots of things about the personalities of the characters, and especially Lux and Ari, which are leaders. And in the 3rd season that is coming this year, we're going to see Ari's team in the past, so we're probably going to learn more about their story, and I'm very excited to see that. Oh my god. And we also had like another short story released last year, which was like the Star Guardians release of 2018, which was basically a pajama party. So it's not really a spin-off, but more like a filler episode in the Star Guardians story, which we're going to cover in part 3 of this series. Anyways, guys, that was it. Please leave a comment with your opinions about the Star Guardians, and I'll see you soon, very, very soon, to talk about the new Star Guardians that are coming 2019, and I'm sure they're very close. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye bye!